Hello, everyone, and introduction to Joao. And I'll give him the stage because my camera is currently not working. And please take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Martin. Hi, everyone. Good to be here this evening. Good morning, afternoon, or evening from wherever you're joining. Um, I would love to, know where you're joining in from. So you could just, in the comments, just leave a comment of where you're joining in from. I am joining currently from Lagos in sub-Saharan Africa. And it's a pleasure to be here. So hi everyone. So super happy to be at the Global XR Conference 2023. My topic is essentially on how we can, or how businesses rather, can leverage the metaverse for growth. And essentially, the name of the topic, of course, as you can see, is Beyond Virtual, the Metaverse for Growth. So I'll just be starting. So a brief introduction of who I am, or on who I am. My name is Joba Dejumo. I essentially do all things around metaverse strategy and product marketing, right, for technology ventures. A few of the organizations I'm currently affiliated to include Immersive Technology Africa, Kovac XR, and of course the World Metaverse Council as well. And of course, concerning my educational background as well, I have gone through Lagos Business School, the Metropolitan School of Business and Management in the UK, and last but not the least, the Harvard Business School Online, where I have a couple of business certifications from. So we're going right into it. I can see we have someone from Nigeria. You're welcome. If you're joining as well, it'd be great to see where you're joining in from. So you could just leave it in the comments. Welcome again. So we're going right in. So the key takeaways to expect for this short presentation, the first of all would be on, the journey from virtual to reality. Essentially, I'll be covering the history of the metaverse here, and then we'll be going right into the full juice of the day, right? Strategies for utilizing the metaverse platforms for growth. What strategies can a business, right, utilize or utilize rather, for utilizing the metaverse platforms for growth. We'll then consider some case studies and, of course, end it with insights to position your business for metaverse readiness. So I'll just be kicking off right away. On the history of the metaverse, right? For some months now, a lot of us have been hearing, especially with the advent of artificial intelligence, a lot of us are in the metaverse ecosystem have been hearing, is the metaverse really here to stay? Is it really sustainable, right? And based off this, I just want to take us down the memory lane a bit. So the metaverse actually started right from, or the concept of the metaverse began right from 1935 when an idea was birthed. And by the way, if you look at the right side of my screen that I'm sharing, you see an image of the Ready Player One. Some of you might be aware of this popular movie, and which essentially portrays the whole concept of the metaverse. And so where we were before, when it was still a virtual reality, in quotes, and right now we are really moving into the real world of having the metaverse right here where we are. So right from 1935, we moved on to 1939. And one very interesting time in the evolution of the metaverse was really in the creation of the Sensorama, which happened in 1952, right? I'm going to be talking a bit about that in the coming slides. And, we had other, iterations upcoming later down. And one of the most defining moments really was it was in 2021. That's about just 2 years ago when Meta, right? The popular Meta, which was previously known as Facebook, rebranded into Meta, and everyone started to realize and see the potentials of the metaverse, right? And so I spoke a bit about the Sensorama, so circa 1962, right? If you look at the image right here, you see a a device, right? And this was essentially one of the first iterations of the metaverse technologies, right? So it was a motion picture system that takes you into another world, right? You could see some of the features. It had 3D, it had wide vision, it had motion, color. As a matter of fact, it had the ability to even provide you aromas and wind and vibrations through the chairs. How amazing could that be, really? Right? But you could see how heavy and how huge it is, right in that image there. This was in 1962, and we had the Sensorama, right? And you can only imagine if we had stuff like this right now, it would be really hard for everyone to, experience what, metaverse technologies would really be like. I'm going to just be going forward to the next slide. So how can businesses really utilize the metaverse for growth? First of all, what really is growth? Business, when I'm talking about growth here, I'm talking about business growth. How can you expand, leverage multiple channels for, more sales, more opportunities, more revenue? So, of course, this would only come right after you have, or this discussion would only come right after, as a business, you've already completed and honed four major things. Now, what are these four major things? These are your research. You must understand your users, understand your customers, right? Who are your customers? What are their preferences? What are their needs? Then you go on to product development, which is, of course, one of the most important stages, because if you don't have a product development phase, what are you really providing to your customers? And then you go on to positioning. How do you position your product in the market? How do you position it, with other competitors in the industry as well? And then internal enablement, where you enable your own team with assets, marketing assets. So when you talk about all these stages, after you've completely honed and perfected each of these stages, what then you go on to is talking about channels of distribution. So beyond the metaverse, which I'm currently speaking about, you have other channels of distribution. You have social media, right? These are channels of social distribution that are already conventional in the world today. You have social media, you have PPC, you have organic channels like blog posts and the rest of them. But now we want to consider the metaverse and so many other metaverse platforms essentially. So you can utilize the metaverse for growth after you've completed these four very key phases, right? And of course, metaverse platforms and communities. So an example of what I'll be talking about here is our in-game billboards. When I talk about in-game billboards, when you're playing some games on your mobile device or on your computer, you see that there are billboards in those games. For example, if you're aware of the GTA, it's a very popular mobile game, and it's one of the iterations or first iterations of the metaverse. And then you will see some that's Grand Theft Auto, right? And you see some while you're working in with your avatar in the game, you definitely see some real life renditions or virtual renditions of billboards. You also have 3D portals. So we'll be briefly discussing some metaverse platforms that a business can leverage for growth. So we have Horizon Worlds, which is a product of Meta. Meta was previously Facebook. So and Horizon Worlds has so far claimed that they have about 200 to 300,000 monthly active users on the platform. So that's just to give you an idea or a sense of the opportunity that lies in this platform called Horizon Worlds. And then you have the largest community ever, the largest metaverse community in the world today, which is Roblox. Roblox has over 200 million. 200 million. That's massive. 200 million. That's essentially the same population of a country like Nigeria, where I'm currently calling from, right? So that just shows you the immense potential of a platform like Roblox. You also have Fortnite, which has claimed to have over 85 million monthly active users. You also have Minecraft. Minecraft is quite popular as well, with over 165 monthly active users, and the Sandbox, which has over 200,000 monthly active users. And all this data is from Active Player. And yeah, you can also go ahead to build your own metaverse platform without leveraging these already established communities and platforms. You can build yours with Microsoft Mesh. You can build yours with Spatial. Spatial is a very popular platform through which you can build a metaverse experience. So I've basically said this to essentially guide your expectations in terms of the potential of some of these metaverse communities. So this is a quotation from Roblox. Roblox, like I mentioned earlier, is one of the largest metaverse communities in the world today. And according to some of their team members at Roblox, they said their platform drives immense economic opportunity with 2.7 million people earning Robux from their creations in June 2022 and over $580 million in developer payout by their developer exchange over the 12 months ending in June 30th, right? And they're currently exploring and providing more ways for their community to earn on Roblox through immersive ads and the marketplace. And this just shows you the opportunity for them to have, being able to process over $580 million just in a year, right? I think that's super amazing. Just shows you the economic potential of the Roblox platform. As you can see in the image here, you can see there is a rabbit, sort of an avatar that looks like a rabbit, right? That's an avatar. And then you can see it approaching a more like a portal. So that's what you call an immersive ad. So you can see there you have Van's World just right there. And you can imagine yourself as a user of Roblox or one of the users of Roblox just going through the community there or the platform, and then comes across your product or your own immersive ad, and then walks into it and gets into a different world, your own metaverse world. And that's an immense opportunity, economic opportunity for businesses. So we'll be talking about in-game ads very briefly. As you can see in the image here, MasterCard, one of the most popular financial services company in the world today. Um, they were able to position their platform and their product even on the League of Legends esports game, right? According to a study conducted by the Drum, 37% of mobile gamers say that in-game ads have predisposed them to make a purchase during the past 3 months. And moreover, almost a quarter, that's 23% of them, of those polled, indicates in-game ads have also inspired them to make multiple purchases. So you can imagine the immense opportunity there for in-game ads. So if you're not exploring in-game ads for your product, I wonder what you're doing. You're missing out on a lot of opportunities right now. So I'll be taking you through the potential of different metaverse channels through the buyer funnel. So now we have the buyer funnel in marketing, and essentially goes from the top of the funnel where your potential clients, your prospects, become aware of your products, and then they go down to the middle of the funnel and then end up at the bottom of the funnel. And there are different channels, metaverse platforms that you can leverage, that you can utilize for your growth, right? So at the top of the funnel, you have a channel like virtual events, which can then enhance your brand awareness. Of course, the key priority for most businesses at the top of the funnel is to have brand awareness, is to generate awareness. So you can enhance brand awareness for lifestyle, music, corporate brand events, and programs, right? This is a very great channel for businesses that have this niche, right? And you also have the AR, VR at the middle of the funnel, which is a very great channel for product storytelling and visualization of your product. So for companies that are in the aviation industry, in the mobility industry, or in the architectural companies, right? You can use this channel to ease your prospects through the funnel to have a better understanding of what your product is, so you can leverage artificial intelligence, augmented reality tools. I apologize for the slip of tongue. Augmented reality tools, right? And this would really enhance the product visualization process, right? You also then have the bottom of the funnel. So with channels or platforms like NFT assets, you can create marketing tactics such as scarcity, FOMO. What's FOMO? FOMO is the fear of missing out in all your product offerings, right? You create a sense of uniqueness that enables your potential customers and clients to really convert, right? When they realize that there is some sort of uniqueness and scarcity in your product, with a channel like leveraging a channel like NFTs, of course, what you have is that they're going to convert right away, right? And this will be useful for companies or products that are more of a lifestyle products, artists, and luxury brands. So we'll just be going further. So there are a lot of growth opportunities to explore, and I'll just be briefly touching on innovative ad formats, that's advert formats for distribution. So how can you really, or what advertisement formats can you leverage for distribution as a platform or as a company or as a business, right? So you have a couple of them. The first one, which is portal ads, like the one I showed you earlier in the second slide, the third slide with Roblox. So this essentially has to do with your customers, which are avatars in this case, moving through the metaverse ecosystem or the metaverse community in this case. And then, they stumble on your portal ad. And of course, they enter into the portal and a new world, amazing, right? You also have 3D models. This is very quite straightforward for anyone who, of course, already understands the metaverse. You also have immersive video ads. Immersive video ads essentially are videos in metaverse worlds where your avatar and the potential clients essentially get immersed into a video that's an advertisement, really. And then the metaverse item, the all avatar items, right? Where you can sell different merch. You can sell your merch, your shirts. You can sell the items for avatars. And then you have interactive pop-up shops that platforms and businesses can leverage to essentially have some form of interaction with their clients and their prospective customers. And then, of course, the most basic of them all is the GIF ads or the static images, which prospects can, of course, come across while they are moving through the Metaverse community. So I'll just be taking us through case studies. We're wrapping up quite shortly now. Um, so we're going to start with Heineken. Heineken is a very popular brand known across the entire world. And Heineken was able to generate over 2 billion metaverse impressions, right, from a product launch that they did in 2022. That was just last year. So on Decentraland, that's another metaverse community, another metaverse platform. On Decentraland, Heineken was able to launch a virtual brewery. So if you can look at the image right in this presentation here, you see it's called the Heineken Silver. That was the new product that Heineken was launching in 2022, and they tagged it as the world's first virtual beer, which was tagged at the Gen Z audience, right? And they launched it on Decentraland, and they recorded over 2 billion impressions from the launch event. And I mean, that's super amazing for a brand awareness campaign. That's super amazing. 2 billion is, it's an opportunity. Of course, this just presents a very good opportunity for any business. And then we also have Gucci. Gucci is another popular fashion brand, and Gucci launched the Gucci Garden experience, which they launched on Roblox. That was the world most, or the largest metaverse platform with the largest number of monthly active users. So Gucci launched the virtual garden. So it was a virtual exhibition essentially on Roblox, and that was in 2021. They teamed up with Roblox to release this virtual exhibition where visitors would enter into the Gucci garden and their avatars essentially became mannequins, right? And they were able to interact with all of Gucci products, and they were able to record over 1 million visits for that particular campaign. You can already imagine the immense opportunity from such, right? And then another one again we have is Samsung, right? Samsung is also another popular brand. A lot of us use Samsung phones. And Samsung, of course, launched the 837X virtual store experience, right, on Decentraland. So it was a virtual store essentially, which was essentially a remodeling of their physical store in New York City. So they have a physical store, that's Samsung, a physical store in 837 Washington Street in New York City in America. And they were able to then launch that same iteration of the physical store on Decentraland, and we're able to record over 120 customers after launching that virtual store. That's mind blowing. 120,000 customers from Decentraland, right? So this just shows you the opportunity. And now I'm thinking in my head, a lot of you are probably here thinking, all right, Joba, I love the metaverse already. I want to really, leverage the metaverse platform for growth. And how can I get ready? How can I utilize the metaverse? So I'm just going to, guide you through 5 key steps. This is a very broad step that, or very broad guideline that can be, applied across multiple businesses or multiple products. But of course, if you need a better, something more tailored to your business, we need to then have maybe another session for that. The first thing to get yourself ready for the metaverse, of course, is to do your customer research and market research. It's important that for you to launch a product or for you to launch a campaign or launch or leverage a channel like the metaverse, you must understand the customers and the products. If you do not understand that, you might just be casting your net where there is no opportunity. So the metaverse has, or several metaverse platforms have different audience types. So it's important that you understand your own target audience, the audience available on the metaverse platform, and then you know how your customers will perceive such channel. And then you go on to build the right partnerships after you've identified and understood the market, understood your customers and the users of whatever metaverse platform you want to leverage. You then go ahead to build the right partnerships. You might not have the technical know-how to build such metaverse platforms. It's important that, after you found the product audience fit, right? The platform audience fits. You go ahead to look for the technical partners that will guide you to implement and essentially guide you through the process of implementing that channel, right? And then you go ahead to test. It's important that you do not just launch without testing. You must understand how the platform really operates or functions with your own products, right? You test it to ensure it works well. It integrates seamlessly with your current processes, right? When you are able to then do that, you'll then be able to understand better how to iterate and improve. And then you go on to then leverage familiar frameworks. So you have a lot of familiar frameworks. For example, we already spoke about the billboards. Billboards is a very, very familiar framework in the world today. So many consumers are aware of what billboards are. So in case they are coming across a billboard in the metaverse community, they won't be surprised or they wouldn't be confused. I think that's the right word. And of course, finally, you then hack growth. How do you hack growth? You experiment, learn, and optimize fast, fast, fast. So you keep on doing it and optimizing. So you might also be thinking to yourself that, oh, Joba, I don't have the money or the kind of budget that Heineken has, or I'm not a big brand like Samsung or Gucci. I'm just a small brand coming out of Europe. I'm just a small brand coming out of the United Arab Emirates or out of Africa. How do I really leverage the metaverse without having such a high budget like Heineken or like Samsung, right? You might just want to start small. And how can you start small? We have a technology or another metaverse channel called AR, that's augmented reality, right? And 3D. So you can leverage augmented reality and with 3D formats for your product, right? And you can just, with those channels, you can just watch engagement skyrocket. And this is particularly very useful for um, e-commerce brands that offer a lot of products for sale to consumers and a lot of daily usage products. So these products can be put on the platform and then customers can have a better visualization at the mobile stage, which is the middle of the funnel, to then ease through and convert, right? Some statistics we have here, according to Statista, by the end of 2023, this year that we are in, there will be 1.4 billion AR device users. That just shows you the immense opportunity with augmented reality in the market today. You also have that, according to a Snap report, 57% of users say they are more likely to buy from a brand offering AR. And around 64% of those consumers believe the ability to use AR in their shopping experiences help them to essentially increase a sense of loyalty to their brand, right? And I think this is really amazing and just shows you the opportunity with augmented reality. And there are a lot of platforms to leverage. You have platforms like SwiftXR, which you can, of course, leverage. You also have platforms like CoverXR, of course, if you're an architectural um, company. You also have lots of other platforms that offer such augmented reality experiences. So yeah, you can also come and have a look at what we're doing at CoverXR. Um, CoverXR is essentially a no-code augmented reality development tool for architects and the building industry. So if you have your phones right now, I would invite you to open up your phones and scan the QR code. And if you're on your phone, you might as well just fill in the link. Go to www.covac, that's covark.com, and have a look at what we're doing at Kovac XR. I'm sure you find it interesting. That's what the team is doing there. So thank you very much. This was a very interesting session, and I hope you did enjoy it. I look forward to receiving your questions, comments, and the rest. Martin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. And also now with a picture. I hope you can hear me. Can
Yes,
you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. Thank you
Yes, I
for
can
your
hear you.
talk.
Awesome.
um,
Thank you.
and while the audience is getting ready to write their
Awesome.
questions either on Discord or in the YouTube
Awesome.
comments, I was wondering
Okay.
what was the kind of, I don't know, maybe the most interesting or most surprising ad of a company either utilizing AR or placing an ad in the metaverse? Do you have like you had these case studies, but is there something where you were, hey, this
Yeah.
is super cool, super new, this is something that you would advise other brands to also look into?
Yeah, I'm not sure I heard you quite clearly, Martin. I think your
Oh,
network is your connection is breaking up. So if you can just say it again.
okay. I was wondering if there's
Yeah.
if there was a most surprising ad that you've encountered, either of a company utilizing AR or placing an ad in the metaverse.
Right. So I think one of the best platforms really for such that would be quite friendly to most businesses would really be um, Roblox. Roblox is quite friendly in terms of the business angle of things. Um, of course, there will still need to be more research in terms of the price. Most of these things you have to contact the team, their sales team, to really have an understanding of how they will charge you for, you know, in-game ads, because most of these things are usually custom made or uh, custom quoted, right? But really, in terms of pricing, I would really suggest a lot of small businesses to really look at augmented reality. Reason why is because you have a lot of free augmented reality software. You can build it without coding, right? And then in terms of adverts that really are so great, I think I really loved the Mastercard adverts, right? Mastercard really did a great job, advertising advertising their brand on the in-game platform on Decentraland. So yeah.
Is there a brand that you would like to work with, like that you say they should be on the metaverse but they aren't there yet, and that you're this is also what you would propose to them or something?
Yeah, of course, there are multiple brands, right? I would definitely love to partner with on such. I think one of such would definitely be Mastercard. Mastercard is very forward driven. Of course, they already leverage the metaverse, but I believe there's still more they can do over there, right? There's still lots more opportunities for Mastercard to leverage the metaverse for growth. But Mastercard is one brand that really comes to mind at the moment, right? A lot of other FMCG brands across the world. You have Guinness. Guinness has a great product. Guinness is a very popular brand worldwide. Um, yeah, so I think some of these brands, well, maybe more around finance and FMCG. These are brands I believe that will definitely experience a lot of opportunities with these metaverse channels. Thank you, Gospel. I see your comment.
Yeah, I can put these on there, just comments.
Yeah,
So there's one
awesome.
here, but there are
Thanks,
no
Boaz.
questions yet.
No questions yet. Looks like it
Prob-
was quite explanatory. I hope.
yes, it was very nice, step by step. Here are your 5 steps that you have to look at, and
Awesome.
they're also explained. Um,
Awesome.
do you think it's like you mentioned that AR is suitable for
Okay.
smaller brands because it's also a bit cheaper?
Yeah.
What are like key points that they would need to consider, or also what are things that you've encountered that you have to tell brands of what they can achieve with the new ways of placing ads out to customers? What are like the main questions that you always have to iterate about and say, hey, this is how this works? Like you can show them numbers, but like how do you convince them? I think.
Right. So I think for AR, the opportunity is there because you can always, beyond just the augmented reality, you can also leverage the first. So AR comes in two layers. There's the first layer, which is the Web 3D. So Web 3D allows a consumer on an e-commerce platform to first of all play with the 3D version, which is an interactive version of the product. So I think that's already an opportunity for any business, even without the consumer or without the customer going ahead to deploy their camera. You can already see that they can start or begin to interact with the product. So I think that presents an opportunity because most of the time you have it that some consumers or some customers likely drop off when it's time to open up their camera to experience AR, especially because of inexperience. But even without open up the camera, you can still use the Web 3D opportunity. So I think that's one very interesting point about AR, the fact that you have that interactivity. You don't lose anything. So AR is always a win-win. Augmented reality is always a win-win for businesses. And in terms of a point I would always put out for businesses would be that it's always quite important for businesses to begin to consider ways to get 3D artists who can come on their team to help them experience 3D artists, really, who can help them really understand how to use AR, because AR has a limitation, especially Web 3D. For the web, AR has a limitation of size, so it's important that you're not just building any type of 3D experience, but a 3D experience that is optimized, well optimized for the web. So with having an experienced 3D developer or a 3D artist would be very good for such. Yeah.
And what has been the biggest difference working with brands that are like the difference between the physical world and any in the virtual world? Is there like, I mean, I'm imagine for some brands where they advertise a product that is also digital or has some digital values, like Mastercard is like a payment service. How is it
Yeah.
for products that you mentioned, like beer brands that have a physical, like you need to get it in the real world? Like you can also get a virtual beer, but I think that's not so.
Mm-hmm.
Like how does the conversion work, and where is the difference there
Right.
for brands to think about?
Right. So I like to consider it really as, I explained that there are different stages of the buyer funnel, right? So you have the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel. So for most physical brands, really, so AR and the metaverse really would really apply more around the top of the funnel and middle of the funnel to really enhance product visualization and really enhance brand awareness. So I would not advise a company that doesn't have the budget for brand awareness or doesn't have the plan for brand awareness to invest in metaverse technology. So it's important that you have your priorities. What are your goals? If your goal is brand awareness and you have the budget to do brand awareness, of course, leverage metaverse. Even if you have a physical product, right? What happens is you give your customers an experience of that physical product right before they go ahead to buy or purchase the physical product. What happens is when they engage with the virtual products, it excites them. It creates an excitement feeling. For example, I once worked with my company once worked with an airline, a very popular airline brand, one of the top airline brands in the world, and we're trying to essentially create a an experience, a virtual reality experience for their helicopters, right? So they had helicopters and they wanted their high profile clients, which are clients that are, very wealthy, most wealthy clients in the world, to experience this helicopters before they purchase it. So because of this, because these people are quite busy, right? They don't have the time to come to the showroom to inspect an actual helicopter. They can be in their office, right? For brand awareness, they can be in their office and just, right? That's middle of the funnel. So at the middle of the funnel, they have the intention, right? So they already have the intention to purchase. So now they want to have a feeling. So they have to visualize. So at the middle of the funnel, what helps them to visualize and really understand it, for them to then go to the actual showroom, is a VR headset viewing the virtual reality experience. So that helps them to then ease through the conversion funnel to then go to the bottom of the funnel and actually meet with the actual helicopter. So it's a very useful tactic, really, if you think about it from that angle: brand awareness and product visualization. So those are the two angles that are very, very important.
And maybe as a last question, what is like,
Sure.
because your perspective is on how can the technology that's being developed be used for
Mhm.
brand awareness or something. So if you look at
Yeah.
where the technology is developing to, what is kind of the
Yeah.
next technological development that you're interested in that will change how brands can use or utilize the technology that is out there. So we had 3D models in space, with physical presence. We had it in fully VR. If you see where the development for the metaverse and also other tools, where is the perspective, like your perspective there? I would be really curious on hearing where this goes.
Interesting question. I love that question, because I'm just gonna go straight into it. I'm just gonna say AI, AI, AI. That's the answer. Just AI, right? Artificial intelligence. And why? Because right now, with artificial intelligence, businesses can now, just with a prompt, create a 3D model, right? And trust me, that is mind blowing. That well, there are not so many platforms that allow you to do that right now. There are not so many commercialized platforms, right? But the moment, as things begin to progress, as the technology begins to advance, continues to advance, you'll find it that maybe in the next 1-2 years, they will begin to commercialize these technologies. And any business in the world today, any business right out of London, a business right out of San Francisco, a business right out of Lagos, Nigeria, can just, maybe they sell furniture, just put in the prompt of their furniture, right, into a platform, and put in the specification. The chair is this size, right? It's this color. Give me a 3D model. My goodness, that's mind blowing. Like I'm so excited about that, and I look forward to seeing it really come to life.
Cool. And are you working on anything in that direction already with your company?
Well, it's in the works. It's in the pipeline, but not actively. Not actively.
Cool.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, and
Awesome.
take care.
Thank you. Nice presentation. Nice meeting you, rather.
Bye.
Bye, Martin. Bye.